Hey, good afternoon guys. Tush coming at you Monday, May the 8th, and we're at T-minus 132. Had a great weekend at my parents' place in Peterborough, Ontario. A visit for my sister as well. Celebrating my 50th birthday, so that was really nice. Thanks for all of the birthday wishes on Facebook and on my various car forums that I frequent. So thanks very much for those. So now that we've got my 50th birthday out of the way, we need to get this car's 50th birthday out of the way, and that's what we're working towards. So new addition to the garage and to the restoration progress is a new dash that we did pick up while we were in Peterborough. I picked this up from another car club member named Alex, who had, I think, 3 of these dashes made. He used to own a TR6, and this dash is made out of solid walnut, and as you can see, maybe you can't see, but it matches my TR250 dash as far as the holes or the layout is concerned. The 250s and the TR6s, depending on the year, the layouts of the dashes did change with the addition of, for example, some pollution equipment. There was some warning lights in here, and there was some movement of the brake warning lights into little rectangular slots down here. So you can actually see this is from a 73, I believe, where you've got a different sort of layout there on that center pod of gauges and a few different openings. So they are sort of year specific. So I was fortunate that Alex had the proper layout of the dash for me, so I've picked that up from him, and like I said, I think it's going to be nicer as far as the color is concerned. I was a little concerned about that being a little bit too light, and the other fact that it was starting to check in the varnish, and I don't know if you can see that on video or not, but there's definite checking visible, and there's actually some little pieces starting to sort of delaminate out of the veneer of the dash. As I mentioned, this is a solid walnut dash, so that should fare pretty well. So yeah, that's a good addition to the project. So we'll put those in the house for safekeeping, and then we'll move on to other projects. Alright, so I have a couple of remaining pieces to do from the front suspension. These are the front sway bar mounts that hook up to the bottom control arms and the spring pan. So I've got those in there ready to be blasted. The other thing we wanted to do today is to remove the brake rotors from the hubs, so we're going to do that today and get those out of the way. I did start packing up a bin of parts to go off to the sandblasters. I think that's the route we're going to do. I've been sort of looking for a compressor over the past week or so. Pretty big investment, obviously, for the garage, so I was trying to determine whether I wanted to spend the money on getting somebody else to blast parts for me or investing that money in buying a compressor. So I've been looking at both new and used compressors, and I said it's a pricey investment. So anyway, we'll see what the outcome is. I was hoping to maybe get this blasted by the end of the week, or at least drop it off to the blasters. There's a fair amount of a drive for me up north. It's probably about a 45 or 50 minute drive one way, so it's also an investment in my time to actually get there and back. Anyway, haven't made any progress on painting. It's been way too cold in the garage. Actually, we had a frost warning overnight, 1 degree Celsius this morning, so that's just above freezing. It did actually snow yesterday, so it wasn't a great day to be out here yesterday anyway. So I was thinking that after I sandblast these remaining pieces, I may actually hook the heater back up in the garage and get some heat in here in order to be able to paint these and get them out of the garage. Normally what I do is, after they're painted, I move them indoors and sort of put them in my living room on the dining room table, so to further dry and cure while I continue on with my project, so they don't get all dirty and dusty. So that's generally what I do. I use my dining room table as a staging place for parts. Anyway, so that's the plan for today. Finish blasting and possibly do some painting. Like I said, we're going to move these dashes inside the house and get them into a safe location before we progress with any work out here. Alright, that's it for now. We'll get to work. Okay guys, quick update. A few more parts added to the pile. Those sway bar links, and these are the spacers for the brake caliper mounts, which were a bugger to get off, if you recall. So those have all been cleaned up. That's the steering stop there. I've also separated the hubs from the rotors. So there they are there. So we're going to clean those up, take all the old grease out of them, and wire brush them to clean them up. We're going to check the races in there. I did actually go to my parts stash and I found a few more brake backing plates complete. And we just took a look at, see if they're in any better condition than what I've got. And I don't think they are, so we're just going to leave them down there for now. I see they do have the holding pins here, which I need, which is a good thing. So it's not a bad thing that I drug them out. So anyway, we're going to clean up those hubs and get dirty. Alright guys, just wanted to remove the bushings in the lower control arms in order to get them ready for paint. So I know Elon on one of his videos showed you a threaded rod trick, and there's lots of ways to do this. I'll show you what I do, and it's just because I happen to have this tool lying around. This is a, I believe it's called a Pitman arm puller. I'm going to show you how I use this to remove the bushings. Alright guys, here's what that tool looks like installed on the lower control arm, and you can see I've just got the two arms just on either side of the bushing down here. So all we're going to do now is just crank on the bolt, and hopefully you'll see this bushing start to come out. Just winding down on the nut. So it's just pushing that bushing out. Almost there. There you go. And she's out. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright guys, we've had the heater on for a couple hours out here, and it's starting to warm up. We're up to about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So about 15 degrees Celsius. And we've got the Christmas tree up. Christmas trees up. So fair amount of parts actually when you hang them all up. You can see what I've been doing for the last couple weeks now at least. So we've got a couple lines here ready to go of all the black bits. And then we've got another tree over here of all the what I'm going to paint silver. So I've got to go back now and clean these all up one more time with some grease and wax remover. Got to tape off the threads. We don't want to get any paint on. We're going to stuff some towels in here to keep paint off the bearing races and do what needs to be done. So the next time you see these, hopefully, they'll be in a quick coat of primer, and then they'll be black, or in that case of that little tree over there, they'll be in silver. Just a quick look at that. We'll get to cleaning and masking. Alright guys, we're just about ready to go. We've got all the parts now wiped down with grease and wax remover, and we've got all the bits taped off that need to be taped off. We've got the paint cans just warming a little bit by the heater, just to warm them up a little bit. I warmed all the parts briefly with a heat gun, and so they should be a little bit warmer. Temperature in here is just climbing up to about almost close to 20 degrees Celsius. It's going to be about 70 within about probably 5 or 10 minutes or so. So I think we'll wait for 5 minutes and then we'll apply the first coat of primer. So there we go. Alright guys, just coming up to 8:30, and we're just back from visiting TR6 Paul, just north of me here in Newmarket, and Paul has generously let me use a rotisserie that he's made. He did his restoration on his TR6, is in the midst of his restoration, but he has his body tub back on the frame, so he no longer needs the rotisserie, although he wants it back because he's going to be doing another TR6, which is great. But anyway, in the meantime, he's lent it to me to be able to do my 250. So thanks, Paul. We'll put it to good use. Well, sure it's hot in here now with the heater running. We're almost up to 80 degrees, which is great. We have all of the clothesline painted now. So nice satin black. So it looks good. Everything's drying up nicely. It's good to have all these parts in color finally. It's been a long few weeks. The weather really hasn't cooperated, so happy to get these done. Just like Christmas. And our silver parts over here. So yeah, happy with that. Anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll upload this tonight and we'll start fresh tomorrow. We'll figure out what we want to do next, and we'll bring you along for the ride. All right, see you tomorrow.